this is the only EVF that I know of that can be powered through your camera via USB-C. So let's say you're trying to build a shoulder rig and you can't figure out how to mount your 5-inch monitor so you can actually view your image. Let alone your 5-inch monitor doesn't have enough nits to actually combat the sun when you're using it outside. And then sometimes you just get too distracted with everything around you when you're trying to view your monitor if you're having a shoulder rig or anything else. This is where an EVF comes into play. Quick disclaimer, Kinefinity did send out the Eagle EVF, but they don't get to see this video prior to me uploading, just so you know. So this is Kinefinity's latest addition to their EVF lineup, the Eagle EVF HDMI version. Yes, you can use this on any camera that has an HDMI out. That could be your Sonys, that could be your Lumix, that can be your Blackmagics, and it even has an HDMI out, so you can loop out to your transmitter or your monitor. Right now, I have the EVF hooked up to the XH2S, and is going out of the HDMI to the small SD monitor, which the small SD monitor is looping out to the Teradite Bolt 6. And so this is an extreme version of what you would possibly do. You'll probably just do one or the other, or you might have all three of them. So I just want to show you what the latency looks like with a stopwatch, and you can be the judge of that if you see anything. Now, the reason why I'm showing you it this way, I have no way to show you what it looks like inside the EVF, but this will give you a good idea if there is any great disparity in terms of like how everything's working together. Everything that you see here coming out of the camera, this will be your indicator of whether or not it's doing poorly or not in terms of, get that glare out, in terms of delay. Yeah, you be the judge. All right, so this is your first time using an EVF.
Yeah, I do like how slim of a rig this is. Okay, there we go.
That actually looks good on you. Who are you? I just threw on the camera. We didn't introduce yourself.
My name is Christian. I am a pastor currently in Indiana right now, and then also work with video on my own stuff. Hoping to do get this guy to help me with some short films coming up.
Yeah. You're just a nerd like me too, so.
Yeah, Joshua's cost me way too much money.
Oh, stop. So the Eagle HDMI is powered by a 5-volt USB-C port, and it actually comes with the cable, and it's a nice little bundle, HDMI and USB-C. This is great, very low consumption. You're not gonna drain your battery anytime soon with this. And this is kind of nice. I see this trend happening with other brands. Obviously, Blackmagic has their USB-C EVF. And so now we're seeing it here with the Kinefinity. Now it's not a locking port by any means, so just be mindful of that. But it feels secure enough, I would say. You're not gonna be yanking on this cable a lot or moving around a lot when it's on your rig. Here's what's really unique about this EVF is that this is the only EVF that I know of that can be powered through your camera via USB-C. So like I was saying, the consumption is about 5 volts, super low. And so this particular rig that you see here, this is the XH2S. You can kind of, oh, that's blocking it, XH2S. And I have the CINEBACK. I actually did like a mini review in my last video, so check that out if you're interested in it. Links in the description below. But this is the CINEBACK. I am powering it through a dummy battery from the camera to the power supply here, and have my V-mount battery here. That's powering the camera, which essentially powers this. So you can see the light is on. There's a green light here at the top. Now, I didn't ever think about putting a EVF on this rig, so there's some things I kind of have to move around. But this is exciting. You can actually have this EVF stripped down to something really nimble, and all you have to do is power it through your camera. Now, I haven't run a test to see how long that will last on the GFX or the XH2S, but if you have a substantial battery here and you're going to be using it for professional work, this is actually very exciting. So kudos to Kinefinity for making this. This is smart. This is smart for mirrorless cameras for sure. Okay, so I just want to show you guys some of the menu options in here. This might be the most boring part of the whole video, but I think it's necessary so you guys know what you're getting into if you're looking into this. Now, get into the image. You have 3 options: low, high, and normal for your brightness settings. You can flip the image. You have anamorphic support as well inside the EVF, ranging from 1.25, 133, 1.5, 1.75, 1.8, I believe, 2x, and 0.67 and 0.5. And then you have some guideline options. You can create your own framing inside of here. And then your tools, you have focus assist, waveform, histogram, zebras, false color, and zoom. Now, the difference between the HDMI version and the SDI version, obviously HDMI and SDI are two different types of ports. SDI is a little bit more professional because it can lock and you can run 4K signals and all this other stuff outside of that. With that too is the power consumption. The SDI version has a 2-pin LEMO, so you're bound to using a D-tap port to plug into a battery to power that. And so with the HDMI version, you have USB-C to power, and there's another USB-C, but that's for updating as well. And then you have HDMI in and HDMI out. So those are the physical differences between the two. You still have the scrolling wheel to navigate your menus in the EVF. You have buttons 1 and 2 and 3 for all your custom settings that you can change. And then you have the menu button in itself. You can make that a custom button as well. And you have the record button. Now with the HDMI, I haven't found a way to trigger a camera with this. I don't think it can. I don't think it has that feature. But with the SDI option for the Kinefinity cameras, you can trigger your camera to record with this button. But you can also remap it if you need to as well. Essentially, you have 5 customized buttons to change to your liking. This is a very interesting design. I wish it had a quarter 20 at the bottom though.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah,
because I like to mount it here in the center.
Yeah.
All right, so you saw the build for the XH2S. Let me show you what a handheld build looks like with the EVF with my GFX 102. I prefer to have the EVF more centered of the rig rather than off to the side unless I'm doing a shoulder rig. It just feels more comfortable to me that way. So I'm gonna put the bracket about here. Let's see, about here. In case you don't know what this is the mid 49 cage for the GFX system. I like it because it gives me a lot of mounting points. There we go. And again, it's nice that I can just power the EVF with just this cable system. Keep it super light. I am going to switch out the lens. The RO is just too heavy to deal with handheld without any support for a long time, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to just man up and get her done. And it's on. I would normally take off my glasses. I don't like using my glasses with the EVF because it just gets in the way and it never feels comfortable. Wow, this is cool. Not everybody's gonna like the system like this, but I do. This gives me nostalgia from using the Blackmagic 6K for my job I did with Taylor out in Spain. I had a similar setup to this, the mid 49 case, the camera, full frame, whatnot. I had the Nisi Athena lenses. And then I did use the EVF that they sent for that camera, but this is a much better quality EVF. I can see a lot better, and it's powering off of my camera. No external battery. I'm just using the battery from inside the camera here. It just feels more comfortable if it's centered. I mean, don't you think? If it was off to the side, I'm like this. That just feels weird. This feels centered to my body. Now I will put another handle. I would probably put a handle here or something, and I can just use my thumb to focus. But yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot. Now, if you don't want to power the EVF off of your battery for whatever reason, I would recommend picking up one of these smaller batteries. But this here is the Edge Snap. This is kind of nice. It has a magnetic plate that goes to the bottom or wherever you want to rig this. I like to put it at the bottom, just gives it a little bit more weight. Or you can do the other one with this, which is the Anton Bauer battery. These batteries are about 49 watts. Both of them are. This is nice. It has a smart smart USB-C port with their proprietary cable here, and it actually looks like a D-tap, but is actually USB-C, which is nice. And let me just show you how I do that real quick.
5 minutes later.
There's the smart plate. There's that. And then all you do now is pop this bad boy underneath. And then I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to unplug this. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to have this cable, which I wish it was a little bit more shorter. But this cable is going to go into the camera. And then this guy is going to funnel into the USB-C. And so if you want longer battery life, so you're not worrying about the camera losing battery plus the EVF, You can just put a battery on here and you're golden. But you can mix and match your preferred setup with your Blackmagic, Lumix, whatever you want. This is going to work with it. So there you have it. I hate using my glasses on here, but yeah, there you go. That's a cute little setup, ain't it?
How often do you find yourself wanting to work off of an EVF?
Especially when there's a ton of sun. Even though like my monitors are bright,
Yeah.
I hate glare.
Because these are like 3,000 net, right?
Yeah, they get up to 3,000. There's a caveat for that. Sure. But like, if I'm out in the sun, I'm going to have an EVF. Like our last commercial we did here, I had the EVF on. But yeah, anytime that I can, it's always in my bag. So like, if I feel like the monitor's not worth it, then I'll put the EVF on. Okay. Yeah.
So mostly for a shoulder rig, or like if you're on sticks, do you use both? Yeah. EVF and monitor?
So I'll probably throw the monitor on the right side here of the camera, and then just look through here. So I'll, if I'm manning the camera, operating the camera, EVF is mine. Directed monitor or AC, whoever can be on this side. Nice. And then I just rock it from there. So the build quality for the Eagle EVF is really nice. It's an all metal construction, a few plastic parts here and there, but nothing to like, be worried about. If you drop it, it will take a beating. Not saying you should, but it's a fanless design, but it also doesn't get hot. I don't know how they did it, but it's super quiet as well. It's just a really nice, form-fitting, small and compact EVF.
It's good that they brought out the HDMI version. Like I said, I was looking at the one for my Red, but it's way too expensive. So.
How much is it?
I think it's like $3,500.
Golly.
Yeah.
Good old Red products.
Yeah. But yeah, the size of this, the compactness, and then is this, I'm assuming log image through.
Here's the funny thing with Fujifilm cameras, you can't output a LUT.
I mean, the image seems like it's a log image, so
yeah, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to kind of tell the quality of the image.
Yeah, I think that's my main con is like it needs to have LUT support. Like you can load LUTs. Yeah. That would be excellent for a camera like my Fujifilm cameras.
I've heard good things about the image, and I know a lot of people have gotten these, like the SDI version for their Reds, because way cheaper. Yeah. Now, the question is whether or not do you need an EVF versus using a monitor. And 80% of the time you can get by with a monitor, but if you were fitting that description that I was making earlier about if you want to do a shoulder rig, if you don't have a bright enough monitor, that fixes, and EVF fixes all of those things pretty easily, because you have your eye covered, you're blocking yourself from the sun, all those things that you kind of focus on the image. That's going to be the benefit of using EVF. Do you need both? It depends what you're doing. I like having both because I like to work in tandem. And also price-wise, the base of this is around $1,000, and then it goes up with the different kits. That's a core kit, and I think it's a pro kit. So it just gives more accessories and things like that. But if you can't afford the higher-end monitors, like a small HD or something like that, this would be your best alternative to start with. If you don't want to use a monitor. So some things to think about. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on an EVF? Do you own an EVF? And yeah, thanks for joining me in this video. Catch you guys on the next one.